Good afternoon and welcome to North West News. I'm Laura Stack. Your headlines today. The Transport Secretary has finally passed controversial plans for the Heysham M6 link road. It's been 20 years since the IRA bombed Warrington, killing 2 boys. And cannabis-scented cards have been posted to hundreds of households. We'll tell you why shortly. But first, biopharmaceutical firm AstraZeneca has cut 700 jobs from its Cheshire base. Veronica Spruzzi is outside the research centre at Alderley Park. So how have staff in Cheshire responded to this, Veronica?
Well, Laura, more than half the staff at Alderley Park went home last night and had to discuss with their families the idea of transferring from Cheshire to Cambridge, working overseas or face losing their jobs.
But why have they made this decision?
AstraZeneca has declared it will invest £330 million to set up a global HQ in Cambridge. We'll expect to create 2,000 jobs.
And how will this affect the North West?
Well, according to Unite National Officer Linda McCulloch, this decision is creating a skill crisis for the Northwest economy. But AstraZeneca CEO Pascal Soriot thinks the move to the southwest of England greatly increases the chances for the next generation of innovative medicine to be invented and manufactured in Britain.
Thank you, Veronica. Work on the Heysham M6 link road will begin this summer at a cost of £123 million. The road will link 2 junctions by Lancaster and Morecambe College with junction 34 of the M6. A huge boost to the local economy or a devastating loss of beautiful countryside? Let us know your thoughts at northwestnews.com. The post-mortem examination continues on a baby found dead on a country lane in Bolton. The baby, who we now know is a girl, was found wrapped in clothing and plastic bags by walkers on Oxhay Lane. Wirral councils have confirmed the closure of one of its daycare centres, despite 15,000 campaigners signing a petition to save it. The decision to shut Morton Daycare for adults with learning difficulties is part of a nearly £2,000 worth of cuts to the town over the next 3 years. The people of Warrington are commemorating the anniversary of an IRA bombing that killed 2 boys. Charlie Craven looks at how the town is remembering the tragedy 20 years on.
On March the 20th, 1993, this northwest town was shocked by a deadly act of terrorism.
This memorial in Warrington Town Centre commemorates a devastating IRA attack which took the lives of 2 young boys.
12-year-old Jonathan Ball and Tim Parry, aged just 3. A new exhibition at the Pyramid Centre in Warrington commemorates the attack 20 years ago.
Culture Warrington was commissioned by Warrington Borough Council to put an exhibition together that not only sort of marked the 20th anniversary, but also sort of told the story of the bombing and also the aftermath and the positive things that came out from it. So it wasn't just the actual bombing itself as a focus, it was the story of the reconciliation, the journey of reconciliation, of how Warrington sort of turned around their initial sort of, I suppose, hatred and retaliation.
Mixing an innovative widescreen movie experience and a gallery of touchscreen computer tablets, the exhibition tells the story of a small town marked by a tragic event. Stephen Kingsnorth is a church minister who, after the attack, represented the town in peace talks with Ireland.
It was Warrington as a family, as a town that was being attacked. We were boys of a family who suffered the consequences, and we were able to take that forward in a positive way.
The exhibition, open until April the 18th, not only remembers the horrific attack that took place here 20 years ago, but also tells the story of a small town's fight for forgiveness and reconciliation. This is Charlie Craven reporting for North West News.
Do you think you could sniff out cannabis? Independent charity Crime Stoppers has launched a campaign to encourage people to report suspected cannabis farms. Scratch and sniff cards that smell like marijuana will be posted to hundreds of households around the country. But Greater Manchester is a particular hotspot where 800 plantations have already been discovered. Tomorrow's budget will unveil whether a Blackpool MP was successful in his plea to cut VAT on hotels and attractions by 15%. Lauren Connor finds out what impact this would have on the nation's favourite seaside resort.
The economic downturn, poor weather and high taxes mean Blackpool businesses are struggling to keep tourism alive. I spoke to Maurice Coleman, the manager of one of Blackpool's 200 hotels, who spoke about the potential impact of the VAT reduction.
I personally think it will make a very, very big difference. It'll certainly make life a lot easier. Certainly the running costs, especially on a seafront hotel. Hopefully a reduction of 15% down, from 20% down to 5%, hopefully would make a big difference.
MP for Blackpool South, Gordon Marsden, says the rates in Europe are currently far lower, meaning Brits are more likely to opt for overseas holidays. But a reduction in the VAT could see more people packing their suitcases and heading to the British coast. Lauren Connor, North West News.
A crackdown on rogue taxis operating in Preston has been launched by South Ribble Council. An undercover investigation revealed unlicensed taxis were coming into the area touting for trade. Local residents told us about their concerns.
I don't actually have a concern about illegal taxis. I've never been unfortunate enough to be taken in one. I've always had, a hire taxi or something that I've arranged myself. So illegal taxis don't seem to be a problem for me.
Always, because if there's unmarked taxis, then people could get hurt. Really, it's not a nice thing, is it?
1 in 5 people in the northwest have cut down on fruit and veg because they can't afford to buy any. Hayley Moran investigates how food banks across the region are helping to tackle food poverty.
With food prices constantly rising, more and more people are struggling to afford food. I've come to the Salvation Army in Preston to find out how their food bank is helping those in need.
The food bank started in the middle of last year and really began out of a cry of need, in that people were presenting themselves needing help with basic provisions, trying to make ends meet and just something to eat. From that, the churches got together in Preston and began to work together in order to provide a food bank.
Having been established for more than a year, 300 food parcels are being sent out each month and donations are received on a daily basis. With some families having to choose between food or heating, the need for food banks like this one is only increasing.
The emergency food parcel we provide may help a little bit to alleviate some of that anxiety.
1 in 10 people in the region skip meals to feed their family, so we've come down to Preston Market to find out how local traders are helping their customers.
They might say, well, I've only got £5 to spend, so because I know what's on here, what's cheaper, I make them a bag up, like I'll put a cabbage in that's a lot cheaper than a collie.
After asking some local residents, food poverty isn't affecting everyone, but those with bigger families are definitely feeling the pressure on how much they can spend on food.
Well, I live in a large family, so I've got 7 children, so I have to watch everything that I buy.
Hayley Moran, North West News.
Now, Becky Liz is here to bring us an update on what's going on in the sports world. Anything exciting, Becky?
Yes, lots of exciting things, especially in football, Laura. It's been confirmed today that Blackburn Rovers manager Michael Appleton has been sacked after just 15 games in charge. It all started well for Burnley at Ewood Park on Sunday, but local boy David Dunn hit back for Rovers to make it 1-1, despite claims that the goal was offside. Rovers are only 4 points clear from relegation. And big game tonight for Accrington Stanley against Wimbledon. The Reds are hoping for a win as they're still bottom of League Two. Nicky Hunt is a major doubt for tonight's game after he strained his hamstring in the last match. And more important football tonight, Fleetwood take on Barnet at home, Oldham host Hartlepool and Bury will play against Stevenage. And now for some cricket. England are heading into their third and final test in Auckland on Friday after drawing the second match in Wellington. Lancashire bowler James Anderson will be playing on Friday night in full force after his recovery from a back injury which affected his performance in New Zealand. So that's it now for the sport. Laura, back to you.
All right, we're going to go straight to Phil Harvey for the weather. Do we need to continue to wrap up, Phil?
Well, Laura, you'll be happy to hear it's the last day of winter today with a spring equinox tomorrow. However, I would keep those coats on. Finally, that rain, sleet and snow which we've been seeing landing over the region for the last few days has pushed itself southwards, leaving a bright, patchy day ahead. Probably nicer than the rest of the week, so be sure to capitalise on the sunshine today whilst it lasts. However, this evening expect a layer of cloud just to blanket the northwest, but this keeps temperatures just above freezing for tonight, so it keeps nice and warm. I'm afraid the first day of spring tomorrow won't feel much like a departure from the wintry weather we've been having. Small showers start to the day, however the sunshine might just peek through the cloud in the afternoon, but it's probably going to be a cloudy day for most of us. This is what it looks like for the rest of the week. It's going to be nice for the next couple of days, but we may see a return to the snow towards the weekend.
Thanks, Phil. Now, do you fancy being a rally driver for the day? Matthew Parkinson went to find out how you could do just that.
The Devil's Own Rally is the ultimate test of man and machine.
Now, you don't have to have a surname like McRae, or you don't even have to have a fully fledged rally car to take part in an event like this. A standard road car will do the job just as well.
What you will need is a good alarm clock. Scrutineering takes place at 8:30 in the morning, where each car is checked to make sure it's safe to compete in the rally. The competitors have to navigate around special tests designed to challenge even the most dexterous of drivers. If they make a mistake, they're given a time penalty. The tests take place on tarmac and on gravel, but you don't need to be a seasoned veteran to take part in rallying. John Steins completed the event with his 14-year-old son as his navigator.
Anything to do with motorsport he enjoys, and that we both enjoy it. So, I would hope we're not last. There was some slow-looking cars in us. In the end, we had fun, so that was the main thing for this one.
After more than 20 years rallying, Katie Mashiter argues there's more to the sport than choosing a quick car.
You have to know your car, and as long as you know your car, you'll be able to do it. It's just whether you've got rear-wheel drive, whether you've got front-wheel drive, whether you drive tidily, or whether you like to showboat and get the back end sliding out, which you'll have seen plenty of today because, that's the way a lot of people want to go. But it goes down to how well you know your car.
And it certainly seems like some people know their cars better than others. Matthew Parkinson, Northwest News, Cumbria.
That's it for now. Join us again at 6 for more Northwest News. Of course, you could head to our website for more information on those stories. That's northwestnews.com. Goodbye.